Hello everybody and welcome. It's Denise Cox coming to you from my stamping, I guess you call this my video room, for Tutorial Tuesday. Welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. Today I have a really fun fold, super simple easel card to share with you using the gorgeous Stampin' Up! Ringed with Nature bundle. So I'm just going to, hopefully a few of you can join me live today and just give you a few seconds here to pop on. I don't know where you're watching from, but here in Trail, British Columbia, Canada, it is extremely hot. I think today, right now, it's 37 degrees Celsius, calling for highs of around 40 by the end of the week, which is crazy hot. It's crazy. I think the early morning temperatures are only to get down to like 20, so it's definitely a hot one here. Good time to be spending down here in the basement in my craft studio, making some pretty things and escaping the heat wave we're having. Hi Sherry, welcome. So last night I had my catalog launch party for the mini catalog, and oh my goodness, we had so much fun. We played some games, we had some prizes. It was really awesome to get together with a bunch of my local stamping friends and share a stamping event again. It's been so long. So if you're watching, Sherry, you were there. Thank you so much for being there. It was really fun. All right, so tonight's video is all about, as I mentioned, the Ringed with Nature bundle. So this bundle is really awesome. It comes with this stamp set, which as you can see, covers like all occasions all year through the year. Oh, my screen's going funny colors. It also comes with the tree ring dies and the Tree Rings Hybrid Embossing Folder. So I have shown this in a few of my live videos already, but I love it. So I want to share it with you again in the bundle that it is part of. So I've showed it with a few other items in the past, but tonight it's all about the Ringed with Nature bundle. Hello, Carol. Thank you for joining me today. Thanks for watching along. Hi, Tina. So the Ringed with Nature bundle I just shared with you can be found in the mini catalog, and the paper from the celebration, the Rings of Love, coordinates spectacularly with this bundle. So those are the products we're going to be using tonight, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to really like this card. It's kind of a different twist, and yeah, so I'm going to switch the camera down to my desk so I can share some of these items with you. All right, so let me see. I just want to click the right button. There we go. All right, so celebration brochure. This is only good till the end of August, so we're almost at the end of the first month already. So remember, items in here are only available while supplies last. So don't wait too long if there's something you really got your heart set on. So this is the paper I was mentioning to you guys. This is the Rings of Love Designer Series paper right here. And as you can see, you probably can't see it all that well, but if I bring it up to the camera, it does cover all occasions all through the year. It's got all the seasons, it's got some Christmas, it's got some gorgeous birds, some houses. It's super fun paper, and you can get that for free with a $60 order here in Canada. So let me show you. This is the paper, some of the paper we're going to use tonight. And here's the back side. Aren't those mushrooms adorable? Okay, so the Rings of Nature bundle is in the mini catalog, and that can be found on right here on page 62. It can also, of course, be found on my online store, so be sure to check that out too. But here you can see that we've got this stamp set, and it's a photopolymer stamp set, and the stamp set itself is $32. The bundle, which comes with the dies and the hybrid embossing folder all together, so all three, is $72.75, which is awesome because then you would qualify to get your free celebration. So what I wanted to show you, last night I was showing the ladies at the launch party how this works. So here's our Tree Rings embossing folder, and we're going to open it up. You can see I've still got some marks in mine. I've used this a lot. And here's the die from the Tree Rings dies. And this, oh, wrong way. What am I doing here? over here. Just got to match it up. Okay, so it just sits on. You can actually put the die right inside your embossing folder. And then you would put your paper and close it up and run it through. And that's going to cut and emboss those beautiful log ends for you to use as embellishments on your projects. So we've done that before with the, I've done a couple cards with some gnomes, and I did it with a moose card. So it's really, really fun. It's a great stamp set. The other thing, while I've got them out here, I might as well just show you this now, is this is one of the pieces of paper I just showed you with the rings of love. And check this out. Let me, if I get it the right way here. Nope. It's just a matter of lining it up. But this coordinates there. It does coordinate, I promise you it does. There we go. So this one's a little bit chopped off because of the way I cut the paper, but if you were to cut this out, you could run that through your die cutting machine, and then you would get these little rings to use again on your projects. So it's a really awesome set. It's super versatile, and I will say it has grown to be one of my favorites. Somebody pointed out last night that everything is my favorite, and that might be slightly true, but this is definitely climbing the list. So let's get started and share the card we're going to make tonight. So this card is a fun happy anniversary card. I was super excited to see that sentiment in the Ringed with Nature stamp set, because we don't have a lot of stamps that say happy anniversary, and we all need to make them at some point. So this is the card we're going to create with the little acorns. And then it's an easel card, so it's going to pop up and stand just like that. So if I turn it to the side, you can see how it's standing up. And there's the little ring that we're using that I cut from the designer paper. So let's go ahead and create this. I'm going to try to give you all the measurements as we go, but if you miss them, don't worry, because when I upload it to my blog tomorrow and to my YouTube channel later tonight, it'll have the measurements in there, along with all of the supplies that I'm going to use. So you can get them all there. I'm just going to, it's telling me I have new comments. I'm just trying to keep an eye on the comments. So let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions as we go, let me know. So we're going to start with a evening evergreen card piece. And this one measures 11 inches. So I just cut it in half. So it's 11 inches by 4 1/4. It's a half sheet of cardstock cut long ways. And then I've scored it at 2 3/4 and then 5 1/2. So it's just one extra score line from the typical card base. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold it just like we would a normal card. Okay, so I'm just going to use my bone folder. And then we're going to fold this one back. So if we were to open it up, we're going to then fold on this score line into the center. Okay, so as you can see, this is going to form our easel. Okay, now I'm just going to get started right away with the inside just to get some of these pieces out of the way. So I've got a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of soft suede and a 3 3/4 by 5 piece of basic white. So we're going to layer those two together. And I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue because it's right close and handy here. And I'm going to center that onto my soft suede. Now that's going to get attached right to the center or the middle of our card. So this is our inside. This is where you're going to write your heartfelt message on your handmade card. So we'll just get that attached in here. This is a really fun and easy fun fold card to create. So I'd love to share this with you tonight. Okay, so there's our inside of the card for now. We do have another step, but we'll get to that in a bit. So here we've got our 2 panels on the front, and I've chosen to use again the soft suede. So this is 2 1/2 by 4, and there's 2 of them. Okay, so we can go ahead and attach those now to the front panels, and I'm just going to try and keep them lined up with each other. So you'll see what I mean in just a second here. So I'm centering them inside each panel. But then when I go to attach the second one, oops, I'm just going to try and make sure that horizontally, or vertically, I mean, they are lined up together. There. Okay. So that's done. So we've got our 2 panels started. You can see the separation between the 2. And then we're going to take some more of the Rings of Love paper. Look at those pretty trees. I love them. So much fun for fall creations. And on the back, let me show you a sneak peek of that. There's some beautiful flowers, poinsettias that you could use for Christmas time. So like I mentioned before, this paper pack is super versatile. And it's one that I will admit I have a number of them stashed away. It's going to be a super fun one to create with. Okay, so we're just attaching now these pieces here. So again, that was 2.5 by, or sorry, the soft suede was 2.5 by 4. This is a 1/4 inch smaller. So this is 2.25 by 3.75. Okay, so same thing here. We're gonna just get these attached. Again, trying to, keep them lined up with each other. So when the card's closed, it looks like everything is lined up. All right, so we can go ahead and set that one aside just for the moment while we get the feature part. So when I say the feature part, this is the part here that folds up when it's standing. So that one there, I'm just gonna grab my ruler because I'm forgetting what size this was. So this is 3 3/8 square, and this one is going to be 3.25 square. So this one is only 1/8 of an inch smaller, where these ones were 1/4. Okay. So before we do anything, we're gonna get all our stamping done, and then we'll attach it to the crumb cake. So the first thing I want to do is show you the color combination we're going to use. So we're using soft suede ink, crumb cake, and real red. Okay, and I'm going to start with the crumb cake. Let's move that out of the way. And then we're going to use a number of the stamp sets on this stamp set here. So we're going to use the tree ring. We're going to use the acorn top, and we're going to use this stamp here, which I'm turning into acorns. But when I look at this, I see mushroom tops, I see gumdrops. There's so many things that you could make with this stamp set. It is extremely versatile, and Pinterest is loaded with awesome ideas. So check that out too. Okay, so back to stamping. We're going to stamp the tree ring in crumb cake. And I'm going to use the stamping off technique. So what that is I'm going to stamp it off onto my paper here, and then I'm going to stamp it on here, just to get a slightly lighter image. And we're going to do that throughout all of our stamping today on this piece. So next thing we want to do is make our acorns. And what I'm going to show you, let me just see here. Okay, so we're starting with crumb cake again, and we're going to stamp the bases of our acorns. So 3 at once, and I'm just gonna, I want to stamp it off. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to stamp 1 set of 3 here. Same thing, I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp 3 down here, and the third one is coming off of the piece of paper, and that's totally okay. All right, so now we're done with our crumb cake ink. So let me put that off to the side, and now we'll bring in our soft suede. And this is what we're going to use to put our acorn tops on. So again, I want to do double stamping, our stamping off technique. So I just want to show you over here the difference. So there's one, and then we'll put one here. Now these acorns are all different sizes, but this top works for all of them. And I love that. I love the versatility. So, oops. Well, let's see if I can stamp. One of the things about stamping with a camera over top of you, sometimes you don't get it quite right. Okay, let's see. Get this one a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing down here to these 3. I was lining those up to show you the difference. That's what my original plan was. So here we've done, if you can see here, I've done the stamped off technique to get these nice subtle lighter colored images, and over here I've stamped the acorns in full strength. So that is what it would look like if you want something that's a little bit more bold. I was just going for more of a subtle washed look. So there's that. Now we're done with the crumb cake. So I set that aside. And on this piece here, so this is just a scrap piece that I had on my desk. It's just basic white cardstock. I'm going to take the real red, and then in this fabulous stamp set, there's this cute little heart. Okay, so hearts are always useful. I love using hearts and on everything, really. So I'm just going to stamp 2 of them just on my scrap piece of paper. And that's all I needed for, so it's nothing fancy. And we're going to put that red one away. So now let's go get back to assembling our card. I'm going to then attach our square here, which remember it was 3 1/4 inches square. So I'm going to just attach a bit of our multi-purpose glue. Oh, it's not coming out now. There we go. It's a brand new one, so usually when they're brand new, they come out nice and lovely at first. As long as I store mine upside down. I don't know about you guys, but when I store it upside down, it comes out, it works beautifully every time. But sometimes I get busy and I leave it on my desk and I forget to put the lid on, and then some glue gets dried in there, and then it's not so great, but it comes apart really easy, or it's fixable very easily, so no worry. All right, now that's our piece attached with the crumb cake. And then I've gone ahead and I've pre-cut some dies. I just didn't want you guys to have to watch me run it through the die machine. So this is from the Rings of Nature. No, what is this called again? Tree ring dies. I can't keep it straight. So I've cut a few of these little branches out of Evening Evergreen, and that's going to tie in with our card base. So here they are. Aren't they beautiful? I love them. They're so fun. So what I'm going to do is just attach a little bit of glue, just a little dab or 2. Okay, and I'm just going to stick them on here. Now I'm not too concerned if it's coming off the edge because we do have room around from the base of the card. So then we'll just do the same thing here, a dab or 2. And this is going to look a little different than my sample because I'm putting these in a different positioning, but that's totally fine. Okay, so that's that. Now, isn't this coming together so cute? I can envision so many fall themed cards using this stamp set. All right, so and then I've also cut out from these awesome dies. I've cut out 2 of this piece here, which again is I'm using as an acorn, but you could, I envision mushroom tops, gumdrops, so many different things with this guy. And then I've cut out 2 of these little acorn tops. So I've used Crumb Cake for the base and soft suede to match what we did on our stamping. So I'm just going to put a Stampin' Dimensional on the back of the acorns, and I'm going to just stick them. Like I mentioned before, this is going to look a little bit different than the sample. That's okay. We're just going to... Each card I make is always very different because maybe I get a different idea partway through, or I do what I did there and I just stick them down without really looking back, but it always turns out very similar. So I've just used a mini there, okay, on the back of the acorn. I love that it fits so perfectly right there. I didn't have to snip it or anything. And then I'm just going to attach those right above the acorn die. There we go. So what do you guys think? For those of you who have joined me live, what do you think of this beautiful bundle? It's so versatile, and it just, you know, it's got so many different elements to it. I'd love to know if it's on your wish list already, or if watching along, if it's slowly making its way there, or what your thoughts are. So, of course, I forgot to bring my little snips with me, so we're going to have to use these giant ones because that's all I have here in my studio. But let me just give them a quick little wipe because They appear to have some ink on them. Okay, so we're just going to clean off these great big monster scissors I have. And all we're going to do is cut out these little hearts. Okay, now just give them a little. I do want a little bit of a white border. I usually like to cut all of my fussy cutting with a border on it. There is the odd exception, but usually I think the white border looks nice, and I also find that it's a little bit more forgiving than if you try and cut right along. Oh, I'm getting a little close. Again, having the camera over top makes it a little bit challenging sometimes. Okay, there we go. So there's one heart. And then here's another. Oh, Tina, it's on your list. Yes, it's so nice. I really like this one so much. And I know you will too, because it's, like I mentioned, you can use it for anything. You can use it all year round for every occasion and any occasion. It's nice to have stamp sets like that in your collection. Okay, so there we go. 2 hearts cut out. All right. So then what I want to do is I want to attach one of these hearts right to the center of my acorns. And I think that looks super cute. Hello, Bev. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're here making an Easel Fun Fold card. Okay, so there, we've got that sweet little heart over top of our acorns. Super cute. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the card base that we've already created. So remember, we had those 2 panels with the fold to create the easel. So what's really important when you get to this stage is that when you attach this to the front of your card, you want to make sure your adhesive is only from the fold down, okay? Because if you put adhesive here, obviously, it's going to glue your card flat, and you'll no longer have an easel. So I'm going to go just a little shy of halfway on the back with my glue. And then one trick you can do is just sort of eyeball it before you stick it down. This is why I'm using the liquid glue, because as you can see, it's not very straight, but I can shim it and wiggle it into place. Okay. Oh, Bev, you ordered this? I'm so excited. You're gonna love it. It's a super fun bundle. I can't wait to see what you guys create with it. Okay, so there we go. It's in place. Our easel still works. I didn't glue it flat, so we're on the right track. All right, now, have you guys all seen the fabulous new embossing kit? This has been waiting for so long. Everybody's asking me for the trays, the embossing buddy back. It even comes with these awesome tools. We've got a set of reverse tweezers, a little paintbrush to clean it all up. It is awesome. So that's in the mini catalog. So we're going to do some embossing on our little strip here of Evening Evergreen. So this is just 3/8 of an inch, so just a little bit shy of ½ an inch. I'm going to rub the embossing buddy across. So what that does, it takes all the static off of the paper so that your embossing crystals or your powder isn't going to stick to the paper. It's only going to stick to where you stamp. Okay, well, at least that's the design of it. Sometimes we still have little mishaps, but I'm using my Versamark ink. I'm using Happy Anniversary. Like I mentioned before, super excited to see that sentiment in this stamp set. So I'm going to stamp it on here. I'm leaving a little bit of room on the right side just so I can flag the end. So Versamark is clear, but you can see that in the camera how it's come out. Okay, so this is what the tray is designed for. So we can take the tray now. We've opened my white embossing powder. I'm just going to sprinkle that over top, and the tray is catching all my mess. Okay, then when I'm done, I'm just going to tap that off. Sometimes you need to give it a little flick, but you can see how beautifully that powder stuck. So I'm just going to set that aside and show you how easy it is to clean this up now. The end of the tray has a little screw-on cap. And then we're just going to take our tray and give it a little tap, and you can see it's all falling down. What doesn't fall down is where this little brush comes in to play. Okay, so we're just gonna brush it all in, clean it all up. And now what used to be, or potentially could be, a big old mess when you do some embossing is now super easy and confined and makes it so much more enjoyable. All right, so I'm gonna stick all these pieces off to the side over here. And then I'm just gonna bring in my heat tool, which, never mind the noise for a second here. It's gonna be a bit loud for you guys. But let's see if we can watch the magic happen when we emboss this white. As it melts together and becomes that nice, beautiful, bright white. Yay, I love it. Okay, so I have probably embossed 1,000 times in my life, and every time I do it, it still makes me smile when I watch the magic happen. So I love it. Okay. So we've got that. Now again with my giant scissors, we're just gonna flag one end. So when I don't have my punch with me, or I just cut up the center and then meet my scissors into the middle. Okay, and usually I can get a fairly even flag that way. This one's a little more lopsided than I would like, but I'm not gonna mess with it because it'll probably just make it worse. So here's our original card. Then I'm going to pull in our right now card, and I'm going to attach this on. And I'm going to use mini Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay. And this is a little longer than I want, so I'm going to make sure I don't put the dimensionals right to the end. Tina's ordered and received. Are you loving it, Tina? Have you used it? I love that little embossing kit. It's super fun. So we're going to attach this happy anniversary across. I don't want to cover up all of my acorns, so I want to just strategically place it like that. And then whatever's hanging off the edge here, we're just going to open it up, flip it over, and trim it off. Okay. Can you see how cute that is? I love it. Oh, yes, that's right, Bev. I should have shown you that. So the reverse scissors are actually what I should have held the paper with while I heat embossed it, because then your fingers don't get burned. But I'm so used to not having it, I have to get used to it being here. Okay, now when we open the card, to make the easel, we need something for our easel to get stuck on, otherwise it's just gonna close, right? So that's where these super awesome rings that I die cut with the tree ring dies and that Rings of Love designer paper. So we've got all different sizes. So I think I like this size here. I don't want one that's too big, but I'm going to just take it. I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of it. You could put more if you want, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So I've got 2. And then I'm going to hold my card. If you guys can see what I'm doing here, I'm going to hold my card the way I would want it to show in an easel. So you can have it really up and down. You can have it fairly, you know, that one wouldn't work with this, but you get the gist. You can have it however you want. So get it folded the way you like it. And then you're going to stick the log right in front of it so that the edge here is touching your card base. Then when you let go, it stays where you had it. Okay, pretty cool. Now, the last thing I want to do is take my final little heart that I stamped and cut out. Just put a little bit of glue on there and stick that in the center of that log as well. And there we have it. There is our super cute easel anniversary card using the wonderful Ringed with Nature bundle. So again, that bundle is the photopolymer stamp set, the tree ring dies right here, these fabulous guys, and the tree rings hybrid embossing folder. And $72.25, I believe it was here in Canada, gets you the whole bundle. And then you can choose to get a celebration item if you order before the end of August, as long as, while supplies last, of course, for the paper. So there we have it. There's our easel card. I'm just going to switch back, change the view here again. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope that you enjoyed this card. I hope that I hope, let's try that again. I hope that I have inspired you to check out the Rings of Nature bundle in the annual, not the annual, in the mini, in the mini catalog or on my online store. So when I post this to YouTube, I'm going to have a list, as I mentioned, with all of the measurements and all of the supplies that you can purchase from my store with links there for you to make it super easy as well. And I hope aside from that bundle, I hope I've also inspired you to give an easel card a try if you haven't already. It's a really simple and it's super fun to display your cards when they're like that. So thank you, everybody. Please, if you haven't already, go over and visit createwithbirdsnest.ca. That's my blog and my website, and all of my information is there on my upcoming classes and my shopping links, and anything that I'm offering or that's current will be there for you to see. I do have a class coming up, Craft for a Cause, I'm calling it. It's using the Nourish and Flourish kit in the mini catalog, and I can actually show that to you right now. I should have brought the kit in with me because it's super fun and it's very cute. So that is this Nourish and Flourish kit right here. Okay. And what I'm doing is this kit is purchased, Stampin' Up is contributing $4 here in Canada to an organization that's working to end food scarcity. And I think that is super awesome because we all know that there's a lot of people, hungry people in our world. And so I love that they're doing that. So what I've decided is any kits purchased through me from now till August 19th, I will also match that donation to a local food bank here in Trail, British Columbia. So that's my offer. On top of that, if you choose the kit or if you purchase the kit and you live here local, I'm going to be hosting a class on August 31st. And everybody who attends and brings a non-perishable item that will also be donated to the food bank will get entered to win prizes throughout the evening. So we'll get together, we'll have fun, we'll make these beautiful cards. They are super, super pretty. And we'll just have a lot of fun stamping. Well, actually not stamping because there's no stamping, but we'll have a lot of fun card making together. So the kits can be purchased through me from anywhere in Canada. And again, if you're local and you purchase it before August 19th, you do have the option to attend the August 31st class too. So more information will be coming out shortly. I just wanted to put that little buzz in your ear because I do think it's a really good cause, and if we can craft for a cause, that's super awesome. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay cool. If your temperatures are like ours here, please, please stay cool. Maybe if you can find a cool spot to do some crafting, that would be awesome. Share your creations with me. I love to see what everybody's stamping. All right, everybody, have a good night. Talk to you real soon.